Walking into the Star on a Monday morning, you can usually smell the ambition in the air, but lately it's been replaced by the scent of desperation and high-stakes poker. You don't win Super Bowls by being nice. You win them by being ruthless with your salary cap and surgical with your personnel. Yet here we are watching CeeDee Lamb do the front office's job for them. When your WR1, a man who just fought tooth and nail for his own massive extension, stands in front of a national audience and offers to move his own money around just to keep a teammate, that's not just team spirit. That is a loud, clear indictment of how thin the ice is getting under Jerry Jones's polished loafers. I've seen a lot of things in my years covering this franchise, from the glory of the 90s dynasty to the heartbreaking what-ifs of the Romo era. But this situation with George Pickens is a different beast entirely. I am Carlos Eduardo, and if you're looking for a sugar-coated press release, you're in the wrong place. We're having a real talk about the state of America's team, because the window isn't just closing, it's slamming shut on our fingers. From my perspective, what George Pickens did in 2025 was nothing short of a miracle given the inconsistency of the offensive scheme at times. We're talking about 1,429 yards and 9 touchdowns from a guy we essentially stole from Pittsburgh. On the film, Pickens wasn't just a receiver, he was an atmospheric presence. He brought back that don't cross the tracks physical intimidation that Michael Irvin used to paralyze defensive backs with. He didn't just catch the ball, he took it away from people. He turned 50-50 balls into 80-20 propositions. And the most incredible part, he did it while CeeDee Lamb was still commanding double teams and racking up over 1,000 yards of his own. We finally found the triple threat dynamic again, with a vertical game that could stretch any defense in the league. But while the offense was playing chess, our defense was playing checkers in a windstorm. If I'm being honest with Cowboys fans, the 2025 season was a defensive tragedy. You cannot, under any circumstances, claim to be a championship contender when you lead the league in passing touchdowns allowed, 60. Read that number again and let it sink in. That's not just a lack of talent. That's a failure of gap discipline, a failure of communication in the secondary, and a total lack of the clutch factor when the money downs came around. While Pickens and Lamb were lighting up the scoreboard, our secondary was giving up explosive plays like they were handing out flyers. This is why CeeDee's offer to restructure is so pivotal. He knows that if this team has to choose between keeping a superstar receiver and fixing a broken defense, the front office might actually do something irrational. Jerry Jones is out here calling George Pickens not fragile. I've spent enough time around Jerry to know that when he uses words like that, he's trying to justify the use of the franchise tag. He's trying to convince the fan base, and maybe himself, that he can squeeze one more year out of Pickens without giving him the long-term security he's earned. But you don't play hardball with a guy like that. He's a high-octane player who needs to feel all in. Slapping the tag on him is telling him he's a temporary asset. From where I sit, that's a recipe for a locker room disaster. We saw what happened with legends like Emmitt Smith when contract disputes dragged on distracts the whole building. We don't need distractions, we need a defense that can actually stop a slant route on 3rd and long. What I see on the film is an offense that has the potential to be the best in the history of this franchise, maybe even surpassing the Aikman-Irvin-Smith era in terms of pure statistical output. Dak has the weapons, but the salary cap is a zero-sum game. With Micah Parsons waiting in the wings for a contract that will reset the market, the math becomes agonizing. This is where the star on the helmet identity has to mean something. CeeDee Lamb offering a sacrifice is a massive strategic leverage point. By deferring his money, he's essentially handing Jerry a get-out-of-jail-free card to sign Pickens to a long-term deal that spreads the cap hit. It allows the team to keep the most dangerous receiving duo in the NFL while still having the liquid cash to go out and find a defensive tackle who can actually hold a gap. If we don't keep Pickens, we are essentially handing the NFC East to the Eagles. Imagine Pickens landing in Philly. The thought alone should keep every Cowboys fan awake at night. Our division rivals are getting younger and more aggressive, while we sometimes feel like we're stuck in a cycle of going all in, without actually pushing the chips to the center. Playing under the bright lights of AT&T Stadium requires a certain level of mental toughness, and Pickens has shown he has it. He thrives when the cameras are on. CeeDee Lamb has laid the groundwork. He understands that for the Cowboys to be successful, it's not about who gets the most targets, it's about who has the most rings. He's willing to sacrifice his immediate payout for a shot at immortality. Now, the ball is in the front office's court. They need to stop talking about Pickens being not fragile and start treating him like the cornerstone he is. We need a multi-year deal for Pickens before the league year begins. We have the pieces. We have a roster that should be planning a parade, not a rebuilding project. The pursuit of the ring is the only thing that matters, and George Pickens is a vital part of that hunt. Let's bring that sixth trophy home.